Episode 4, better. I like it. I actually really like it. I like these type of episodes, and it's one word. For me, it's all built around tension. Tension is the word for this episode because the way they built it up, the setup was brilliant. Everything that happens in this episode at the beginning is very relevant, and it's not even a lot, right? So it's basically firstly starts with Rhaenyra needing to find her own match. Basically, she came to the agreement with her father that she will try and find her own husband. It looks like this was the only way her father could get her to at least try and play her role as princess. And it's the illusion of giving her control over her own future and giving her a choice of her own husband that was, the way to go about it. But she's not happy. Her suitors are either too old or too young. She feels like some prized possession. She feels like an object, and she's being chosen based on her position and the fact that whoever marries her thinks that the kids will be the future king and not necessarily interested in her, but interested in what she can provide and what her name provides, and that's it. So she doesn't like that. However, the episode ends with her now being forced to marry. She cancelled her tour. She literally declined every single offer, but it comes to a soothing end where the father is tired. She's like, you can't do it, I've done it for you. And she actually then agrees and makes a trade that, okay, I will play my role as heir, I'll play my role for tradition, for the kingdom as princess, but you then also need to do something for me. And that becomes in a way of getting Otto Hightower out of court. Basically, she believes that Otto Hightower is manipulating the king to advance his own family's position, right? Simply something that has also been echoed by Daemon for the past few episodes, but this time it escalated because she believes that Otto Hightower spread the rumor to damage her reputation in order to basically tarnish her name and her innocence and her virtue as heir, so that Viserys can name his firstborn child, the grandson of Otto Hightower, his daughter's child, and the king's firstborn son as the new heir and future king. I loved it. I love the plot of this episode, and now it becomes extremely clear that everyone marries for politics, right? Viserys has literally arranged a marriage that will heal the relationship with the Velaryons because he's proposed Selena Velaryon, the son of Corlys Velaryon and Princess Rhaenys, the queen that never was, as a way to repair the fact that he declined the offer to marry their own daughter. So this kind of fixes it. And also remember, it heals the fact that Princess Rhaenys never actually got to be the queen simply because she was a woman and Viserys was chosen over her. And also, it's a political alliance. It's a strategic alliance. The Velaryons are the most richest family in the land. They own all the ships. And, it just makes sense in every way because they also have Valyrian history. So they share basically almost the same history as the Targaryens, and so very, very strategic. Daemon then returns to show his victory from the Stepstones, from his war in the Stepstones. He offers the crown that was given to him and named the King of the Narrow Sea. He bows down and humbles himself to the king and dedicates the win to him, right? And basically they reconcile. The king and his brother reconcile, and it looks like everything is coming together and the war is over and they are now trying to work together for the good of the realm. It looks like they were trying to repair their relationship. But soon after, maybe it just looks like Daemon was up to his lies and antics again, because previously he lied about his mistress Mysera, the White Worm, being pregnant, and he stole a dragon egg to give to her and intended on marrying her. So that was a lie, and it looked like it was, it was a game for him. But now he has then immediately after doing all of that for the king, showing that great public display of affection, he then lures Rhaenyra out into the night and takes her to the street. So she sneaks out of the back, out of some secret room, and she's excited to go on an adventure. This is the streets of the real King Landing, how the common people live and what they think. She sees people doing magic. She sees people who are drinking, dancing, having sex in the streets. It's literally, it's just fun for her, right? And she's excited to see this. Is probably the first time. And obviously she feels like she's doing something that she's not supposed to do. So it adds to the thrill. And even in all of this, she's drinking, and it's important for her to see what the common people think. And she goes and sees a show where they're portraying the basically succession. they are talking about the king having a daughter, even though she is named as heir. She's actually named as heir. She looks like it's a sensible decision. She looks like she could be a good queen. It doesn't matter even if she would be a good queen, because it's a woman, people boo. And now they talk about the king's new heir, the king's new son being named as heir, and they start cheering because they would accept and they prefer the king's son to actually sit on the throne. It's important that Rhaenyra understands that this is what some people, actually most people, expect. She then goes into a pleasure house with Daemon, and obviously nothing happens as we see Daemon abandon the interaction before anything significant pretty happens. But this is brilliant. It's a setup for the rest of the episode and basically what happens, right? Obviously, there are spies that see her and they report this to Otto Hightower, and Otto Hightower reports this to the king. The king believes that this is lies. The king now starts suspecting that Otto Hightower is coming up with these lies to actually advance his position or to put pressure on Viserys to name his grandson as heir, as we've spoken about. But we go in search of the truth. What is the truth? We saw what she actually never slept with Daemon. But she's confronted by Alicent, who overheard the king speaking with Otto Hightower. And the way it's written is very beautiful because this is Rhaenyra, chooses her words very carefully. She says, I promise you they never had sex. Basically, that's what she's trying to say. However, she is telling a half truth because she did not admit to sleeping with Kristen Cole that night. So Alicent now believes Rhaenyra is telling the truth, that she's actually still a virgin. But that's not actually what Rhaenyra said. She just said that she did not sleep with Daemon, and obviously it's a secret that she's sleeping with her king's guard. This is important because I actually appreciate the intricacies of how this happens, right? We know that Daemon's Misera is Daemon's mistress, and obviously if Daemon's out in the public in pleasure houses, she's not gonna like it. So she actually reports this to Sir Otto Hightower, so kind of Daemon's actions coming back to bite him. And then Otto Hightower is basically then in a position where the king is gonna think, oh, are you lying to advance your position or your family's position, or are you actually telling me the hard truth? And this also starts a relationship tester between Rhaenyra and Alicent, because what Rhaenyra tells Alicent, she's gonna tell to her father and she's gonna tell to the king. And she did. She said that Rhaenyra swore to me that she did not have sex with Daemon, right? And obviously that will add to how the king sees or treats his hand, which is Alicent's father. And we know at the end of the day, Rhaenyra wanted him gone, which is also going to be a huge relationship tester, because if she lied, then obviously she would have lied to Alicent. But what's the thing? Alicent believes that Rhaenyra didn't sleep with Daemon or didn't sleep with anyone. She's still a virgin, but that's not the truth. The truth is she's sleeping with Kristen Cole. However, Daemon is brought to the king and he tells a completely different story. While he allows the king to believe that he did actually defile Rhaenyra and basically ruin her innocence and her public image. And it looks like he's doing that so he can position himself to be the one to take her hand in marriage, because there's no High Lord now that would love to take Rhaenyra because obviously she's been ruined, right? So he's now doing that to put himself in a position where he is the best option for marriage. And he proposes this to his brother, and basically his brother then sees that it's a desperate tactic to get to the throne, and he doesn't necessarily want Rhaenyra. He actually just wants the seat. And obviously he knows that Rhaenyra has been named heir, and if he marries Rhaenyra, then he has obviously ties to the throne and can probably rule, or he'll be accepted more of a ruler since he is the man and would be the husband of Rhaenyra. To be fair, it is in the tradition of the Targaryens to marry within the family to keep the bloodlines pure, and it's also not a strange thing to take more than one wife, right? So he already has the wife and he's been banished back to the Vale to go to his wife and salvage the rest of whatever honor is left in him, apparently. But the king is now confused. The truth is completely distorted. He does not know what to believe. He ends up, based on this one interaction, firing the hand of the king, his most trusted and actually most loyal advisor. But you can't doubt that maybe Otto Tower is also seeing some selfish gains for himself in all of this. I mean, you can see the pattern with how he sent Alicent to comfort the king, and now with the heir that's coming. But he might also be doing it for the good of the realm, because we already know what is expected and what the world would accept, right? And it would accept a male heir. So to me, I think it's actually a bit harsh from Otto Hightower. I don't think he's ever really lied to the king. And based on what he's heard and what he's seen, I don't think he was, truly misled. I mean, obviously they didn't see them having sex, but it was something pretty close to that. So it's unfortunate. The situation is unfortunate, but at the end, you see the king sending his daughter, Princess Rhaenyra, a tea, which is basically going to serve as an emergency contraceptive to rid Rhaenyra of any consequences of last night's shenanigans. So with that being said, I really enjoyed the episode. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I just think it was really, truly tension well done. I love these type of episodes. They are not boring for me, and this is where I love the action, where the action is in the words, the dialogue. And I think in this episode, it was truly done. I was captivated, and one really main situation happened, and it gave us a lot of consequences. So I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you enjoyed this video as well. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.